Good morning. This is obviously another end times report. I've posted a couple things to my Facebook account, and basically one is about the progression of the cashless society that they're promoting. Everyone has a debit card now. You can't live without one. They have been practicing with people with inserting chips in their body. There are many of our citizens who were, quote unquote, forced to take it. These are people with dementia and autism, and people that tend to wander away from establishments. They have received this mark of the beast in their right hand, exactly like it says in the scripture. We can go back to the movie The Manchurian Report and see how easily it is inserted in the frontal lobe of the brain without any damage and without any anesthesia or anything else. Quite frankly, they just stick it in there. It is possible. I'm not saying... Here's what I'm saying. If you don't know Jesus, you're going to take it. Because, listen to this. Number one, it eliminates your SSI, your disability, your food stamps, any other government assistance that you're receiving will be cut off immediately if you don't receive this chip. Number two, you can't pay your insurance. So guess what happens to your car? Guess what happens to your home? Guess what happens because you can't pay your taxes? Guess what happens to everything that you own that they can put a tag on, such as your property, your vehicles, your anything that you have to pay a tax on or insurance, it's gone. So how prepared are you to walk away from your $1 million home, your $75,000 Lexus, your job, your refrigerator full of food, and your television? Are you prepared to walk away from all of that in a heartbeat, in an instant's notice? Because that is what's going to happen. There are forces at work. Quite frankly, I believe, well, NASA has said by 2025 we'll be visited by alien beings. There was this thing I was reading about a light emission from somewhere out in space that they believe was some kind of an X-ray, or now they're saying it was a black hole, and now they're saying it was something else. Look, that's called disinformation. The truth is that a demonic entity of some sort, or an angelic being directed by Almighty God, sent some kind of a signal here. And that's it. I don't care what you call them. Aliens, demons, whatever. These creatures existed before our flesh did. We probably existed with them in spirit, because we were with God in the beginning. Okay? When He created all things. A great point that I like to make is that if you're saying, I didn't ask to be born, I say, how do you know? Because in the eternity, before time existed, before God inserted this little chunk of time here, this little nugget in the forever, before this existed, we were with God. How do you know when He said, look, I'm going to do this? It's a great plan. Do I have any volunteers? How do you know that you weren't over there jumping up and down like Donkey on Shrek saying, pick me? How do you know that your hand wasn't raised higher than everyone else's jumping up and down? Pick Me. You don't. But what if that's what happened? What if you had that kind of pride, that boastfulness, and that God knew exactly who was going to raise their hands, exactly who He was going to humble, and you were one of them? Something to think about on this beautiful Friday, by the way. Didn't know it was Friday. Didn't realize it. I think it's payday. Got a call over there. And see about my last check. I'm going to give my viewers another warning. The full story's about to come out. It's about to come out. Don't worry. I'm going to not let the people get food poisoned. And look, I know that many of you have gotten sick. Walking out the door, someone got sick, and never said anything to anybody. They just kept rolling, which probably. But I've cleaned up many, many, many piles of vomit. Just unfortunately, it is the nature of the business, the nature of the quote-unquote beast. But back to the original subject. The cashless society that I'm speaking about is being practiced all around us. You can't go anywhere without being observed. They began the program in Afghanistan with the eye cameras. They take a picture of your eye and download it into a database, and now they can be picked out anywhere. China did it. They made the technology to map every human and follow that, and whatever else. I mean, it's amazing. The technology is amazing. They can pick out a walk, a limp. You can be wearing a mask up into a feather mask, and they can still see who you are. And it all ties into and prepared for the microchip that they're inserting now into volunteer idiots across this country. I saw a commercial made by IBM. I guess it was in 2001, 2000. I was in Teen Challenge in a Super Bowl. Many of you will remember this Super Bowl because this gigantic spirit came up out of the middle of the field there, and all the other spirits that were dancing around it began to worship this giant spirit. And I was just like, what? So, in this very interesting commercial, it was a Super Bowl commercial, we had a gentleman in a trench coat or a duster or whatever walking through a grocery store. And in his travels, he was depositing things inside pockets and in his coat and just sticking it in there without any discretion. There's a very old 75, 80-year-old security guard following him around the store. You got the ladies in the runabouts sneering at him, and he sneers right back at him. Walking through the store, putting stuff in his pockets. He walks out through a portal. Sort of like, that they have for metal detectors. We've been walking through them for years. It's no big deal. And all these beams of light hit him. You probably won't be able to see the beams of light, but it was just for show purposes. Underneath of him, everywhere, they hit him as he walked out the door. He picks up a newspaper, and he's reading the newspaper as he walks out the door casually, and the very old security guard says, "Hey!" And the guy turns around and says, "What?" You forgot your receipt. And it said, IBM, this is the future. I've known for years that they've been working on silicon spray paint chips. They're trying to get them cheap as a penny a piece so that they can put them on every single item that is for sale, period. Meat, they're trying to make a, not trying, they've made a safe, biodegradable, ingestible microchip so that you can eat it. Quite frankly, if this doesn't disturb you, that's cool. I'm not here to make you feel bad, or to scare you, or to convince you of anything. My only job on this planet is limited to implanting seeds. You can do with it what you want. I absolutely, positively am against. Oh no. These are not cooked. That's even worse. Relatively cooked. That the seeds that I'm planting, it's not up to me to make them grow. It's not up to me to water them or to fertilize them or any such thing. It's up to me to let you know that there's an issue and that, quite frankly, you've been lied to. You've been lied to by religion. You've been lied to by Christians that don't know any better. They've been deceived too. I can't, I'm not saying that I'm perfect or pure or white or any of that. I am a mess. I am a train wreck. I have no idea why the Elohim's vote has given me this vision, but I've been asking for years. Because as a child, I saw things that other people didn't believe me about. But now we're seeing it on television with no problem. Particularly, we have the spirits, the black spirits that I saw as a child. No one believed me. And then there were the night terrors, they call them, which were psychic abilities. I don't know. But, yes. Absolutely, positively, have some sort of ability that after prayer over and over again, Yah has not taken from me. But I believe it's progressing, that it is coming to a point where sometimes it's frightening, but all in all, the truth is, the bottom line is, forget all of that. The problem is, if you do not have the blood of Christ, when things go down, you better get it quick. You're not going to have much of a choice. I'm warning you. If you take the mark of the beast, I don't know if you can cut your hand off. It says if you take the mark of the beast, you're going down. You're going into the fire. The mark and his number. So it does say, forces all those, rich and poor, great and small, to receive the mark of the beast or the number of his name, which is a human number. It is 666. Let him who has understanding discern the number of the beast. Now, I've heard all of the confusion that goes with this, that it is the letter G in Greek and that it represents Muhammad's blades. And let me explain to you what John saw so that we're clear. John saw the microchips being inserted in people's right hands or their foreheads. Okay, probably going to be inserted in the foreheads of people who are of a greater risk. And there was a report in 2001 or 2000 in the Lebanon Daily News of all the wonderful things that this chip does, because, quite frankly, it is amazing. If you're, God forbid, you have a child in point A, okay, and this piece of garbage comes walking down the street, and we have two chips. Now, God forbid, the baby's found over there, whatever, your child, and then all we gotta do is find out what other chip was there, and then bang and bang, and guess who's gone? Guess we know. Probably won't get that far, hopefully, but that's what this wonderful chip is going to do. It's going to stop. How are you going to transfer millions of dollars to purchase tons of cocaine? How are you going to... Of course, that's our government anyway, but regardless of that fact, identity theft is gone. Medicare fraud is history. It seems like it's the ultimate fix. But make no mistake, it is the mark of the beast. Read IBM, read the little booklet that they put out about it, declaring that it is not the mark of the beast, that there's only one way it would work, and that is with 666. Don't get hung up on the number 666, because that's not what we're talking about here. And you naysayers know. You know exactly what it is. Exactly. Now, as usual, I have no idea what I was just talking about, but you get it. Don't take that chip. The military is giving it out like candy. No man left behind. It doesn't work in the caves, though, for some reason. Anyway, I'm way over time here. Hopefully this will go through.